You're watching the 2024-25 SCAC Basketball Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Schreiner University men's basketball program. The Mountaineers will once again be led as they head into the season by guidance of head coach Marwan Elrakabawy, along with leadership from graduate student Beau Cervantes. Coach Beau, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us, sir.
Thanks, Russ.
Coach, we'll open up with you heading into year 6 as the head coach of this Mountaineers men's basketball program there at Schreiner. I'm interested, what do you feel has been the biggest steps of growth within your program over these last, 5 years? You've obviously had a great deal of success, but where have you seen the biggest growth? And ultimately, just how excited to be back at the start of a new season in this new journey?
Yeah, I mean, we stand on the shoulders of all the guys that have come before us, coaches and players here, and those guys have all contributed to where we're at now. They're guys that have that Bo's never played with, but what they brought. Guys like Keenan Gums, Blake Kelly, Luis Mancias, those guys, their legacy still lives here because of what they did while they were here and the tone they set here. And so what I've with this particular group, I think the growth I've seen is just the ownership and willingness to really lead with their front foot. I mean, these guys are going to be putting their arms around the freshmen when they're doing things that they can do better. They're going to be vocal in practice. This is one of our best vocal leaders here. And they're going to lead in different ways. Dylan Mackey, Camden Ross, Beau Cervantes, Bradley Russell, our seniors, are all going to be leading in different ways and have different styles of doing that. But they all have a real desire and a mission to shape this program in the mold that they wanted to see it in. And that's what I've been really excited to see is their growth as leaders.
Beau, as I mentioned, a graduate student coming into your final season of collegiate basketball, a big year for you, I know. What's been your mindset coming into this season? And just kind of give me a vibe check. What's life been like with the boys now being back, season underway? How excited is this? What are you looking forward to most at the start of the new season?
We're all super excited. I think for a lot of our leaders coming back for our senior year, Dylan, Cam, a lot of guys that have been in the program for a while, we're super excited to have some new faces coming in, some guys that are getting more minutes than we've had before. I think a big focus for us is just intensity, defense, and just really bringing it every day. I think that's something that we really want to focus on this year is really the defensive end and intensity.
Coach, tell us a little about this group, this 2024-25 version of the Mountaineers. Obviously, college basketball, no team is going to be the same year to year. There's some familiar faces that have been a big part of your program for the last few years, but there's going to be some guys I'm sure you're asking to step into some new roles as well. What have you learned about this group early? Maybe something about their personality, and what do you see from them that gives you confidence heading into the year?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. We're lucky to have the veteran leaders that we mentioned before, but we're going to need some guys to play roles that they maybe haven't played before. We're going to be probably starting a guy or two this year that has not played significant minutes of college basketball. That's just the reality of it. And so what we're looking for is for somebody to be ready to step up. Now, what I've learned about this group is that they are very, in terms of the new guys, man, they're willing to learn. They are receptive to it. They're the type of guys that you want coming into a program that are curious, hungry, coachable. And these guys are stepping up as leaders and coaching them in addition to our coaching staff coaching them. We're really fortunate to have hopefully our complete group this year going into the season, barring injury. Last year we did have an injury that knocked out one player who's going to be coming back this year, Mario Johnson, who missed out on his sophomore year because of an injury, and he's a guy that could be a big contributor for us. Freshmen like Dylan Snow, Camden Hyman, Charlie Rito, all these guys we're going to be expecting to make an impact this year. So those guys have all shown. CJ Ward is a transfer for us. These guys have all shown that they're coachable and they're ready to learn our ways, and that's what's been really exciting about this process getting started.
Beau, coming into this season, individually as a player, you've had an outstanding career to this point, a multi-time All-SCAC performer. But, you look at last year, really a career year for you across the board. Games started, minutes played, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, free throw percentage, assists per game, points per game, all career best for you coming off of that season last year. What does a season like that do for you in terms of your confidence? And what have you continued to work on individually as a player to grow and get better coming into this final season of college basketball for you?
Yeah, last year it was a good year for us. Kind of didn't end the way we wanted it to end. So, for me, there's some confidence there, but we have to understand, I have to understand that it's a new year. I'm coming in, I want to really focus on the defensive end. Obviously, I'm a smaller guy. I really want to be a pest on defense. We really wanted to focus on weight room in the preseason this year. That was a big key for us, and I think that we've upped the energy there, upped the intensity there. And I think as a team, really, And me myself is just building a culture here. I think that's something that I really wanted to focus on. Just bringing it every single day, up in the competitiveness and practice in the weight room, in open gyms and things like that. And that's what we really wanted to focus on. That's something that I really wanted to focus on.
Coach, what's been kind of the message, the focus at the start of this preseason as this group has gotten prepared to get underway? Obviously, this team is coming off another great season offensively, led the conference in scoring a season ago. Are you trying to focus on things that you're good to be great, things that maybe you feel need a little bit more attention? Where has kind of been that message, that focus for you and the coaching staff as this preseason has unfolded?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be the defensive end for us. We were fortunate to have a really good year last year scoring the basketball, and that was a credit to these guys and the work they put in. But we've got to do a better job on the defensive end. It just wasn't good enough last year, and so that's been a point of emphasis. But like every year, we're going to have three main pillars that we look to. We want to compete every single day. We want to have growth mindset every single day. So we want to embrace challenge. And then, man, we want to enjoy this, right? While we're doing it, let's enjoy it. I'm trying to enjoy every moment I get with this guy. I mean, I'll tell you, some days I'm driving home and I get a little tear in my eye thinking that this is the last time I'm going to get a season with Beau Cervantes because he's just been him and Camden Ross and Dylan Mackey, Bradley Russell, these seniors have been, huge. They probably graduate as probably the winningest class in the NCAA era. We're going to graduate the all-time leading three-point shooter in Schreiner history, the all-time leading assist leader in Schreiner history, the all-time leading rebounder in Schreiner history, all part of this class. So, man, let's have some fun with that and let's put it all out there.
Beau, finally, as we wrap up with you, you've had conversations with some of the other, seniors within this group and leaders on this team in the locker room about some of the goals and expectations. What have those conversations looked like? Obviously, you've been a part of some big games, some big time environments, had some great success, but for the focus for this year, what's that conversation looked like, and ultimately what's going to be key for this group to accomplishing that heading into the year?
Yeah, I think our focus is really, really just on the defensive end and mainly just with consistency. We got to come in every single day, ready to work. It's a long season. I try to tell the freshmen, winter break comes, nobody's on campus. You're the only guys here. Some days you're going to wake up late, 10 minutes before practice. That's tough, and that's something that you got to get through. But us as leaders, our duty is to really get them there, really push them, be the guys that can bring the consistency and the energy every day. And that's how you make a good team. We could be a 50% win team, a 500 team, but that's not what we want to do. We want to be great. We want to win every single game. We want to win the SCAC championship, and that's our goal. And that starts with consistency every day.
And finally, Coach, as we wrap up with you, I think one of the great things about sport and our environment is, success can be measured in so many different ways. Obviously, there's wins, losses, statistics that can be kind of cut and dry and pretty black and white. But just hearing you talk, hearing Beau talk, there's success is well beyond the floor, if you will. And so when you talk about success with your student athletes in your program, how do you try to define that? How do you try to deliver that message to your team? And ultimately, this year looked successful with what plays out in 24-25.
Yeah, there's a couple ways to measure it. The first thing we did in our team meeting, I put up a picture of some of our graduates from the past at each other's wedding together, enjoying each other, being together. The investment that we make in each other right now is going to be successful if we're able to kind of share those moments throughout our entire lives and build that relationship. These guys that are seniors, I mean, James Wallace at Laterno said it, I think he put a tweet out this summer, like you see a guy who's a senior college basketball player, that guy is something special because they've been through a lot together. And you get an example of it right here, just a guy that's been through so much and has a big year ahead of him. But I think ultimately, I always go back to the John Wooden definition of success. I share that with them every year. Ultimately what we want to do, and I'm going to butcher it, but, success is basically the feeling that you've done everything possible to be the best that you were capable of becoming. And that's all that we can all hope for, right? You can't measure it necessarily in outcome. You can't always control the outcome. But if you, I talked to guys that have been through here. None of them say, I wish I had worked a little less hard in my game. I wish I would have spent a little bit more time not figuring out how great I could be. And so if we can all leave this place with a definite feeling that we've done everything possible to figure out how good we can be and to max out individually and as a team, that to me is going to be a pretty successful season.
Schreiner University head men's basketball coach Marwan Elrakabawy, along with leadership from graduate student Beau Cervantes. The Mountaineers open up the 2024-25 campaign at home on November 8th. They take on Howard Payne. Coach Beau, thanks so much for your time today and best of luck as you head into the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Russ. Appreciate it, man.